Hey guys, I am Game Advisor and welcome back to another Icarus Mission video. Today we'll be talking about the mission Dust Up Extermination. As far as your loadout goes, we personally recommend that you take in the exotic armor, a green backpack, a water bottle, a knife, and a bow, if at all possible. This is just to make the mission significantly easier, but it is by no means required. So with that being said, let's get started. First things first, go ahead and fill up your water bottle if you brought one at the river located over here. It's very close to your spawn, so it's very easy to go and fill it up so that you don't have to worry about it later. We recommend that you craft a fair amount of arrows, usually I'd say anywhere from 50 to 100, as well as a set of armor if you don't already have one. If you have the exotic armor, of course this won't apply to you, but it's just something to keep in mind. We also recommend that you craft a decent knife, at least a bone if not better. Again, this is probably the most important exotic you can take in with you to the mission, so if you haven't started yet, I'd highly recommend that you bring it with you. Next, go ahead and make sure you gather plenty of extra sticks as well as fiber so that you can make more stone arrows and more bone arrows when we get out into the other biome. We'll also want to make sure that we craft ourselves a campfire for cooking meat that we're going to be getting from animals so that way we can actually have a way to heal. Next, once you are all set, go ahead and head out to this location that you see here. You'll see a big blue circle, but you're actually going to be looking to go to this spot in the blue circle where you'll see a large, long looking like crevice in the ground, almost like a pit, and you need to go up to it and interact with it. After you've done that, it should give you a second objective, which should be located somewhere over here in this big blue circle, and in this specific spot, you're going to find a rock that you can interact with some slime all over it. After you've done that one, you're going to go to the third and final interactable spot you need to go to, which is going to be in this big blue circle located here, and is a dead mammoth or elephant corpse. I think it's an elephant, but nonetheless. Next, I'd recommend setting up a 1x1 hut with a bedroll. This is just simply because it's a nice thing to have in case you do die, so you don't have to run all the way back. If it is nighttime, you can also sleep through the night to make sure that it's day and you can see well when you're fighting the boss, as well as get the well-rested buff. You can also spend some time in the evening going ahead and crafting some meat if you haven't cooked any yet. There's a ton of different things you can do. It's just really a matter of how confident you are in your skills to defeat the boss. My personal recommendation is that if this is your first time doing it, that you take the time to set up that 1x1 hut. It will save you so much stress and pain from having to walk all the way back. After you've done any last minute prep, go ahead and kill an animal, pick it up, and carry it on your back to the boss location, which should be located around here. Look for the ground kind of rumbling and moving, and once you see that, go ahead and drop the animal nearby. That is the spot where the boss is going to spawn. As soon as you drop it, expect him to spawn out. So I'm going to go over the fight really quick for you and just give you some quick tips, pointers, and recommendations that I recommend you keep in mind while fighting him. But at the end of the day, it's a bit of a learning curve. It's really not that hard though. So for the fight, the most important thing you can do is continue to strafe the entire time. You don't want to stop this because otherwise he's going to occasionally hit you. If you just keep strafing the entire time, you shouldn't really get hit, so you shouldn't really have to be too concerned. Next is that you want to make sure you stay within his melee range. If you go too far, he'll start spitting acid at you a lot, which is significantly more painful and significantly harder to dodge compared to his just regular kind of jump attacks or his lunges at you. However, when you do see the acid, because it will still come at you, you want to go ahead and stop what you're doing, look to whatever direction you're already strafing in, and go ahead and continue sprinting in that direction until the acid hits. After it hits, you can go back to doing what you were doing. In case you didn't know, his crit spot is also located in his mouth, so keep an eye out for that. Next, you're going to want to wait for his big roar move. You'll see him kind of lean back and do a big roar, and then he'll do a ultimate kind of a swing that can one-shot you, so you need to be careful. After he does that, he will then kind of lay on the ground for a moment as he's tired, and this is going to be your window of opportunity to do as much damage as possible. Go ahead and whip out your best knife that you brought with you, or whatever your best weapon happens to be if you did decide to take the time to craft a gun or something like that, and go ahead and just start wailing on his crit point. With just one of the exotic knives, you can do about 1,500 to 3,000 damage in this little window if you do it right. Like I said, this is going to be the most important time to damage him, so make sure you maximize it. Otherwise, the only other things you need to keep in mind is that you want to weave arrows in and out whenever you happen to have some time. A lot of times the boss will just kind of sit there so you can get some extra damage on him. He will also occasionally go back underground. All you need to do for this is simply keep moving until he pops back up. Once he does this, go ahead and make sure you continue continue what we've been doing up until this point until he dies. Once he does die, however, do be aware his body will do kind of a big flop on the ground. This can kill you and make your life a living hell and have to run back. So I highly recommend, if at all possible, you just keep strafing until he is completely dead, as this isn't just another thing he could do to kill you. At this point, you have just simply the task of returning to your pod. You'll have two ways of which you can do this. You can either just simply run back, which is the most traditional way to do it, or you can use the unstuck method. If you do choose to use this method, you're going to want to go to a cave located here. Once you get there, simply run inside, hit escape, click unstuck, and then click yes when the prompt comes up. If it doesn't work the first time, just go a little further into the cave until it actually works. And then voila, you will have been teleported back to your drop pod. Do keep in mind though, if you're watching this video significantly later down the road, the unstuck method has probably been fixed, so it's just something to think about. With that being said, I am Game Advisor. Thank you so much for watching this video. For more Icarus and other survival game content, consider subscribing to our channel. We make tons of new videos every single week. And once again, thank you, and I'll see you next time.